Don't expect the sun to shine. By Richard E. Rathwell. Staged by Harold Rhenisch. Well, let's celebrate poetry today. Let's celebrate the poetry of Richard Rathwell and of his teacher, Robin Blaser. But maybe not of their city, Vancouver, because we're here to say goodbye to Robin Blaser and goodbye to Vancouver, and to welcome them back as something more international that we call Richard Rathwell. Let's make one thing clear. Poetry is an invasion. That's just the way it is. It occupies both mind and body. Here, let me show you an example of that from our book. So, there you have it. It's not the last word on the topic. Don't worry. Poetry is also a resistance. So, it's an invasion, an occupation, and a resistance. Even Blaser saw that coming. Here he is from Image Nation 9, Half and Half. The body becomes an instrument. Sometimes the harp pierces the body, and a man only hangs on the strings. It's like an old country and western movie. The hanging scene, the improvised scaffold, the rotten sheriff, you know it. Or think of it as a puppet stage in a Halloween version of Salzburg. Either way, it's a good trick. You listen to a poem, and then you are impaled on sound. But it happens visually, which is weird. But the thing is, that was a long time ago. The climate is changing, people are changing, politics has gone off the rails. This harp piercing the body, and like I said, that's just weird, is not something that just happens sometimes now. We're there all the time. We have to live there all the time now, in a world of sound and image. A world in which everything that is on a screen is more important than words. Well, in Canada, for example, words are subsidized by the Ministry of Heritage. They're museum items. Butterflies with pins stuck through their heads. And that's looking at the bright side. In this world today, every book of poetry, and you know the stuff, it's made out of words, is awake. There are no identities you can hang it on that are not images from a screen. Here's an example. Another image from our book. Don't expect the sun to shine. Here you can see the poets of Canada hard at work in their natural environment. And that, too, is another wake for Robin Blaser.
I went to Robin's Wake, and at Robin's Wake was a collection of academics and poets. One poet, a woman poet, complained that her husband had forgotten her name as he went on to the trade union movement. Another academic, I had to remind that I had been billed for his publishing fees, was a full professor at a university in Vancouver, and was remembered by me, although he didn't remember it, of being punched in the nose in front of the faculty lounge There were other poets there, but I was the only one who actually went into the room where the body was. And the body was the body of Robin Blaser. He looked very good, dressed in black. He had an ankh around his neck, his white hair, and once again was detached. From that room, which was empty, went back out to the yard where there were the collection of poets from the past and the further past. I was able to find stairs to go upstairs to the roof, and on the roof was another poet, a national treasure, a position which I envy. I wish I could be a national treasure, but not necessarily of that nation, which is Canada. And we had a few words, none of which were coherent, and I reminded him of Robin's last words to me, which were in some terms actually obscene, but in other terms were in praise of literature. And I don't know if this needs to be said, but buy the book.